everybody. How are you doing? This is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show. And some weird things happen to me, and some weird things have happened to you, where you just got the feeling it was time to quit something. You just couldn't take it anymore. You had to just go, I quit. I've had those moments. You've had those moments. And that's what I'm going to talk about on today's show. So, are you ready? Of course you are. Let's do it. All right, everybody. I'm just kind of going to get right to it because this is something I wanted to talk about for a while. Never really got around to it, but I'm going to talk about it today. There are two words that come into your mind on many occasions. They pop into your mind, and sometimes it's short term and sometimes it's a long term thing. And those two words are, I quit. We've all said those words many, many times in your head. You've said them, and sometimes you meant for the day, like when you're working at your office and you're like, finally that last account, I quit. You look at the clock, there's 10 minutes left in the workday, but you're not doing anything, and you're thinking, I quit. I'm not doing anything else today. I'll be back tomorrow. That's it. I'm done. But then there are times when you say, I quit, and you mean permanently. You mean no matter what happens, I'm not going to be involved in this situation under any circumstances. I'm not dealing with this. I'm done. You know what I'm talking about. Like I just said, when it comes to your job, you're just talking about that specific day. I can't do this anymore. I'm done. But then there are the permanent I quits, right? Have you ever been in a situation where you went to the gym and you look at the calendar and you realize you haven't been to the gym in 10 years and you've been paying that membership? Something happened to make you just abruptly stop. It was those two words, I quit. You may have even been going to the gym for a while, working out, right? Not seeing the results you wanted, but knowing that you are improving yourself. You were sitting on the floor doing some crunches, or you doing some push-ups, or you were lifting some weights, or you were running on the treadmill, or you were climbing on the VersaClimber. You were doing something. And there was that one moment where the moment before you were already thinking, okay, I'm going to come to the gym tomorrow at 5. That's what I'm going to do. And you did that one extra crunch or that one extra push up. And in your mind, your brain just said, I quit. And you knew you weren't coming back. You were lying to yourself as you went to the car. You were lying to the attendant when they said, hey, Mr. Johnson, see you tomorrow. And you're like, yeah, see you tomorrow. But inside your brain, you know damn well when you said, I'll see you tomorrow, you know what you were saying, I'll never see you again, punk. That's what you were thinking. You knew you were lying to that man. You knew you had already quit. You know what I'm talking about. It happens in our relationships as well. You've been there before. Unless you're with the first person you've ever dated, you've had 3 to 6, maybe 8, maybe even 10 breakups in your life, depending how old you are. And you know there was a moment where the moment before everything was either great or it was just okay, and you weren't even thinking about being with someone else. But then, yeah, because you have those situations where you're fighting with your spouse. You'll say something, she'll say something, she'll say something, he'll say something, that back and forth. And you never actually were thinking about breaking up or moving out or getting divorced. It was just a fight. It happens sometimes, right? But there comes a time, sometimes, when that person says that one extra thing, or gives you one extra look, or slams the door a little bit harder than they should, or they storm out, but instead of coming back in 15 minutes and finishing the conversation, they come back at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you get sick and tired of them doing that. You're trying to help fix the relationship, and they keep walking away, and they much rather talk to their friends and talk and conversate with their friends and not try to fix the relationship. And under normal circumstances, you just get into the bed next to each other facing in opposite directions, and then one of you would break down and say, I'm sorry, and then that would be the end of it. And then you start laughing and joking, but not this time. Oh no, this time she stormed out. She came back at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you were looking at her, and those two words are in your mind. I quit. I'm done with this. You know you're done with it. He's being a pain in the neck and he goes out with the boys a little bit too much. You want to spend some quality time with him, but you're figuring he's basically a good guy. I'll put up with this crap, but this one time you really needed him to be there. You told him you really needed to be there. He said, I'll be right back, and he doesn't come right back, and you look at him when he comes back in the house, and two words are in your mind: I quit. I've been there. I know the feeling. A lot of times it happens when people are being emotionally manipulative. You know what I'm talking about. I'll tell you a little story. There was a girl that I was seeing at the time, and she had a friend. It was the friend that didn't mind being the third wheel. It was almost like she was an aggressive third wheel. She would force herself into the dates with us all the time, right? And instead of us having romantic times, and I look into her eyes and talk about her eyes are like the stars in the cosmos, and the cosmos are as beautiful as the stars in your eyes, and the cosmos, and limpid pools and flowers and cosmos and stars and cosmos and all of that crap that you say. And she's looking at me, the world and the cosmos and muscles and cosmos and smile and dimples in the world, and the world is one with two, and the cosmos and togetherness and love and cosmos and the world and the cosmos and the world in your eyes, the stars, all of that crap, right? And one time she comes along with us. This is one of the first times she decided to force herself onto the dates, or showing up when she knew where we were. Oh, were you guys here too? It's almost as if I just showed up to ruin everything. You know what I'm talking about. And we're sitting there, right? And it just becomes really, really awkward, because this was one of those dates that's going to end in boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy. And you know what I'm talking about, right? There's times when you're just going out on a date, and if you go home, and then if something happens, it happens. But this was one of those dates where it's like, we're going to go and eat, and then we're going to come home, and boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy. Okay? So we're both in a boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy type of mood. We're looking at each other, we're hitting each other with the cosmos, the stars. It's one with your eyes, the cosmos and the stars, and your stuff looks good and my stuff looks good in the cosmos. Hey, you guys are here. Of course she knew we were there. On the phone, my girlfriend told her, it's her friend, so she told her the whole thing about where we were going to go and all of that stuff, and she showed up anyway, right? And I'm not going to try to start a fight. I'm going to accommodate this, because it doesn't really matter. I'm going to accommodate this, right? If she has a great dinner with us, I'll drop her off at home. It'll just be like a hangout night. Either way, as long as the night ends with boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy, I don't care. I don't care what happens. I don't care if we have to put out a forest fire. If after the forest fire, we go back to my house or go back to where she's living, and boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy, it doesn't matter, right? It wouldn't have mattered, right? But we have this evening, and it's like a hangout night, not a big deal. She's a pleasant person, my girlfriend's friend. I actually kind of like her. I'm a little annoyed at her right now, because I had some good lines I was going to use right on with my girlfriend. I was going to tell her their eyes. There was one, oh, you already heard that stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right? Back to the story. So I'm getting in the car, right? And instead of her dropping her off, she had to go back to my girlfriend's house to get something, right? So I'm figuring, okay, not a big deal. We'll go get the thing, and then I'll drop her off home, come back to my girlfriend's apartment, or take her back to my place, and boom, boom, jiggy, jiggy. Oh, she's still here. She's talking. She's taking her coat off. She's so good. She's such good friends with my friend. She's actually walking into the kitchen and she got a soda. Not a problem. Don't take long to. And she just opened a microwave dinner. We just ate, but oh, right. And now she's starting to talk about man-hatey stuff. I wish I had a guy like S. Anthony, and I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much. Because my guy's a double this and a double that and a bloop, and he's a nothing but a bloop, and he did bloop, and he bloop, and he bloop, and he bloop, and now she's all man-hatey, right? And my girlfriend's, she's not mad at me, but she's definitely, if the romantic chances of boom boom jiggy boom da boom jiggy jiggy was like like the gas gauge in your car, right? If there was a gas gauge on her arm and it was full, boom boom jiggy boom da boom jiggy jiggy, empty, go home, I'll see you tomorrow. I could see the gauge rapidly sliding from boom boom jiggy jiggy. Now it's in the middle of possible boom boom jiggy jiggy. Now it's down to a quarter tank of maybe boom boom jiggy jiggy, and now it's down to empty. Definitely no boom boom jiggy jiggy. Okay, not a problem. This is probably an isolated incident, not a big deal. This is her friend. Her friend. Her friend needs her. So I walk around the table. I say, I'm sorry you have to deal with a guy like that. I give her a hug, right? And then we do the whole, and she kisses me on the cheek. She did that all the time. She usually tries to kiss me on the mouth, and it's like, even though that doesn't really bother me that much, I didn't want my girlfriend to get all weird about it. Like, why'd you let her kiss you on the mouth? That's right. No, that's my best friend, but still.
We'll be back right after this short break. And now, back to the show.
Not a big deal. I gave her a peck on the forehead. I walk over to my girlfriend. I said, "Can I talk to you?" I said, "Let me talk to her for a minute." I talk awkward to the back room, right? I said, "Oh," and she goes, "Yeah, we can get together tomorrow. I really need to talk to her." I said, "No, I understand. The last thing I want to do is, I'm not in the mood to, jump on top of you. I mean, your friend's having a hard night and all that kind of stuff. I just want to let you know that you're the greatest thing in the world, and they all that love crap, but the kind of love crap that lets her know I'm leaving, not the kind of love crap that lets me know I'm trying to get her back into the room, the boom boom jiggy boom, the boom jiggy jiggy." Because I am a dude, and even though I said I'm a dude, I could have walked around and said, "Listen, friend of my girlfriend, um, could you sit at this table for like 90 minutes and turn the television up loud, and then I'm gonna leave with my clothes disheveled. Not we're just gonna be talking, even though it's gonna sound like moving furniture and animals are back there." I would have done that because I'm a dude. It would have been moving on. So I leave. Not a problem. Didn't really think much of it because this is someone I had been dating for a while. So we had boom boom jiggy boom to boom jiggy jiggy hundreds and hundreds of times. Long term girlfriend. Not a big deal. It's like being a millionaire and getting a parking ticket. It's a little annoying, but it's only 35 bucks and you're worth 10 million. Not a big deal. Okay? Not a problem. Go home. Not a problem. Call her the next morning. See if she's okay. Her friend's still there. Okay, not a big deal. She might have had a really rough night, and I'll be honest with you. Yes, I did call because I figured I could sneak over there and boom, boom, jiggy, jiggy before she went to work. Don't judge me. Shut up. Back to the story. Right? So what started to happen was because I was so accepting of her friend abruptly showing up all the time complaining about her series of bad boyfriends, she started to not realize that there were boundaries there. Right? And at first, my girlfriend at the time complained about it and complained about it and complained about it. Then all of a sudden, she started to accept it. Then all of a sudden, she started to look forward to it. And all of a sudden, it wasn't that big deal. I would show up, over at the place like I normally would, and her friend would be on the couch in pajamas, kind of hanging out like I'm sitting there going, we're all kind of old to be just like hanging out at each other's houses and doing sleepovers. I'm thinking that. But my girlfriend didn't think anything of it. Not a big deal, right? And then she go, "Why don't you guys go ahead and have a good evening?" And we'd leave, right? Right? And we'd have a good evening. And obviously, I can't take her back to her house and boom, boom, jiggity, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy. So I took her to my house to boom, boom, jiggity, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy, right? Now, here's the thing. The girlfriend's friend knew basically how long we would hang out outside of the house before we would go back to either her house or my house for boom, boom, jiggity, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy time. So she knew we'd be out for about 3 or 4 hours, and then we'd be back at her place and my place, boom, boom, jiggity, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggying, right? So she timed it perfectly, right? And everybody that knows me knows after 10 o'clock, if you're not on fire, don't call my house. Everybody knows that. So when I'm at home and I'm about to boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, jiggy, jiggy, my lady, quiet storm, my lady, when I'm about to boom, boom, jiggy, boom, da boom, yeah, Jack, I'm about to do that, right? And I'm just about to boom boom her jiggy jiggy and boom boom to boom her jiggy jiggy jiggy. And the phone rings. Like I said, most people that know me, everybody that knows me, every single person that knows me knows, do not call S. Anthony at after 10 o'clock unless something's on fire. Right? I would answer the phone for my woman, but she's here. and we bout to boom boom jiggy. So it must be important. Maybe your friend's sick, maybe your relative's sick, maybe somebody stuck by the side of the road and they can't get it. Whatever it is, I'm sure it's important. I pick up the phone, and guess who it is? You're daggone right, it's her. Calling from my girlfriend's house complaining about some punk that she... So my girlfriend is sitting on the edge of the bed wearing, well, let's just say we're very, very prepared for boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy. And instead of telling her friend, because it was something dupe, she was yelling into the phone so loud I could tell that what she was talking about, could have easily have waited. And I started to realize this lady is just basically, since every time she doesn't have a boyfriend, every time she's not getting boom boom jiggity boom the boom jiggy jiggy, she ruins it when we try to boom boom jiggity boom the boom jiggy jiggy. Like a 3-year-old who gets mad when their parents kiss, she's doing that. And my girlfriend at the time is a smart lady and she knows this is happening. And instead of stopping it from happening, she keeps letting it go on and on and on until it gets to the point where I'm like the third wheel. They're not romantically involved. They're not gay or anything like that, right? It just got to the point where I was like the parsley on the side of the plate when I used to be half the meal, and that other lady was the parsley. I was half the meal, sizzling steak, and now I'm off in the corner like a piece of parsley that was probably picked out of the busboy's pan and thrown on the plate of somebody who was mean to the waitress. And I looked at her. And not on this particular evening, because on this particular evening, she was already in boom boom jiggy boom the boom jiggy jiggy attire, meaning no attire. So she talked to that lady on the phone for 2 hours. And I'm sitting there like, I don't believe this. No, I did not put my stuff back on. I'm like, I'm going to wait just in case. And I looked at the boom boom jiggy boom the boom jiggy jiggy gauge on her arm, and it stayed at full because she wanted to boom. There was nothing that was going to stop her from boom boom jiggy boom the boom jiggy jiggy in this particular evening. But just this particular evening, it got to the point where I didn't even really think I had a girlfriend anymore. And the lady that was her friend, it got to the point where even though she outwardly seemed nice towards me, she was just one of the most manipulative people I've ever seen in my life. And I tried to have the discussion with my girlfriend at the time. I tried to, in a friendly way. Not, I didn't even use words like manipulate, but I was very diplomatic about it, and I kept trying to have that conversation, and kept trying to have that conversation. And it just wasn't sinking in, and I was spending too much time. It was like I didn't have a girlfriend. It was like I was in a holding pattern, waiting for my girlfriend to land in the plane, but the plane kept circling. And then you look up and you see the plane up there, and it's circling, and all of a sudden you see another plane fly in and fuel the plane while it's in the air. And you're going, well, I don't think that plane's looking to landing if it's getting fueled while it's in the air. I'm looking at my suitcases, looking at my watch. I gotta go someplace, and the daggone plane won't come down. Oh no. And it comes to a point where you look at the plane and those two words pop up. I quit. I looked at her. And she's on the phone another one of the 16 billion times where that manipulative friend of my girlfriend would call up and ruin everything. And I realized no matter what I do, this relationship is just, ugh. And I looked at this gorgeous woman. And in my mind, all I could think of was, I quit. Right? On that relationship. I look at the friend of my girlfriend who I actually liked in the beginning. I thought she was a nice person. And I thought that we would have enough of a friendship where even if, say, my girlfriend went out of town, she could be a friend, like another sister to me almost, not in a romantic. It's not like she wasn't a gorgeous woman, she was, but she's the friend of a girlfriend. So that once you become the friend of a girlfriend basically becomes a relative to me. And even if the girlfriend got hit by a bus, I would never do anything just out of respect for the relationship that existed when the girl, I just couldn't do it. So that was never a case. I just thought it was going to be a friend of mine. Cool, I got like friends that are females. But I realized, no, man, she's just manipulating things. And I looked at her, And the two words came to my mind: I quit. I don't want this anymore. It happens a lot, doesn't it? And sometimes when your brain says I quit, it's wrong. Sometimes you shouldn't quit on that thing. Sometimes it's just tough right now. But then there are times, like in this particular situation, because this took a long time to get to the I quit. It was just too much, too long, just too much. And in my mind, I said, I quit. And I didn't walk away right away, right? I kept giving her chances, even though emotionally I just wasn't attached to her anymore, right? And occasionally I'd boom, boom, jiggy, boom, the boom, jiggy, jiggy with her, because, I mean, look at her, right? But I just couldn't do it anymore. And we kind of slipped apart, right? And one time I didn't call her for 2 weeks. And then she gives me the hey, big head call. And I guess she could tell by the way we talked on the phone, by the way I reacted to her. Although polite and friendly, she could tell that the part of me that was interested in being with her romantically, that part was long gone. It's like the plane finally landed and wanted the passenger to enter the plane for a ride. But she saw a note or got a text that said, I'm sorry, I am no longer at the airport. There are times when it's okay to quit. It doesn't mean you're a quitter, right? I mean, it just means that you can't do this particular thing anymore. And if you got people around you that are manipulating you, taking up way too much of your time, not caring that you have things to do yourself. They don't mind eating up your whole day, your whole weekend, your whole evening. They just keep sucking your time out like it's a straw in a soda and don't give a crap that you have stuff to do. You have a life. You have needs. They just don't care. When you get to that point, sometimes you just have to say, I quit. And it's okay. Just like right now, I've completed this podcast episode. And for right now, I quit. Until next time. Take care. Oh, my friends, was that fun or what? Yes, those are true stories. And I know you can relate to that. And that's why you keep coming back. And that's why I'm glad you keep coming back. Much love to you all. Can't wait to hear from you. And can't wait to talk to you again next time. Take care.